Yeah, I think we always knew it would. I mean, that's kind of why the encouragement was that way for so long. Is shrink the strike zone down. You're eventually going to get your pitch, and today with Hendricks, like he's a guy you pick one half of the plate. You don't hit the whole plate because he barely lives on the middle part of the plate. He lives on the outer edges, away and in, and like Hunter's more convicted on the inner third. So you end up hitting pitches that are off the plate inside. My guess is that wasn't even a strike, but he doesn't throw many strikes. He throws pitches that have the appearance of looking like strikes, and like we were able to like mount something there. The rest of the game we didn't have too much going, but it was enough from an offensive standpoint to overcome like what should have been probably a disaster pitching wise. You give 12 free passes, 10 walk, 2 hit batters. Like you don't win baseball games like that. It's an aberration. It's not going to be a successful formula to winning more baseball games. He was able to get through 4 innings. I think that's the optimistic way to look at it. 5 walks through 4 innings, teetering on the edge where I got the bullpen up on the first and the second inning, and then he's done after 4. That's, not ideal from a starter's perspective. Like, we got to get better depth into the ball game than that. But he was able to minimize. He was able to stay away from the big hit, able to stay away from kind of the big blow up, and able to get at least through 4 innings for us today. So you can take some positives out of it that way. I don't think any starter's looking to go through 4 innings and about 90 pitches. We were very fortunate today.
Andy, I know you talked about it yesterday, but your thoughts about Darno and how he's been doing?
He's been huge at shortstop for us for the last couple of days. The double play he turned in the 6-hole on Almora where he got to that ball, fed Solarte. Solarte had a great pivot on that too. It turned out to be a big double play. The diving catch on John Jay's ball. Those are 2 huge plays. They end up changing the course of the game, because at that point in time, like, all they're looking for on the other side is a big hit right now. They're putting guys on base time after time after time. They weren't able to get the big hit, and like the ball John Jay hit could have very easily been the big hit that busted the thing open for them, but Chase stole one from him.
Andy, speaking of the walks, too much nibbling around the plate or getting squeezed a little bit?
I don't really have the view for the corners from where I sit. I think at the end of the day, like, we have guys that go in and look at pitches, and the report I was getting, like, Ryan Buchter was just missing. Those weren't strikes, and so, like, you can't really complain about that. I'm sure over the course of a game there were a few pitches that could have gone our way that didn't, but nibbling, missing, not throwing strikes. It's not been too much of a problem, especially for, like, the back end of the bullpen. But in Jared Cozart's case, I think you're looking at, like, 19, 20 innings pitched and 16, 17 walks. Like, you don't stay in a major league rotation long doing that, and, he's got to answer the bell that way.
7th, 8th, 9th innings, was that a case of the right leverage situations for Brad Hand and Brandon Maurer?
Yeah, actually, I was probably looking at going it the other way. But, like, when you got to get Jason Hayward out and it's the big situation, that 7th inning bases loaded situation kind of trumps the plan that I initially had in my head, which was Maurer for the 8th through those righties at the bottom and Hand for the 9th. Maurer's showing himself to be more and more comfortable and confident and back to who we know he is. I think the last 2 days he's thrown the ball as well as I've ever seen him. Ball's jumping out of his hands. Sliders were really good. Changeup's good. So, as he migrates back to getting more of those 9th inning rolls, that frees me up more often to use Brad, and like we did today, coming in bases loaded in the 7th and getting through the 8th. That was the at-bat to Hayward was where the game was won.
Andy, real quick, looking forward to tomorrow. Lamet, his home debut, and what do you hope to see out of him?
Yeah, you're going to beat these guys, you're going to be in the strike zone. Today is not the recipe for beating them in the future, so you don't get 10 walks to win a baseball game. So I think in his case, like, that's always going to be the challenge for him. He's got life to his fastball. The Dodgers had some success with these guys at the top of the strike zone. He's got the ability to do that. But he's got a good slider, good changeup. I just want to see him attack. If he attacks, he's going to be successful in the long run, and a guy we look forward to watching pitch every 5 days.
Kind of a forgotten moment in the game, but the fly ball to right field against Renfroe in the 2nd inning, I think it was. Have you noticed teams maybe a little more hesitant to test him recently?
I think they know what kind of arm he has. Those are decisions. Like when I was coaching third base, those are tough decisions. Sometimes you just take the risk, especially if you're not putting a lot of runs across the board. But it's really hard to take a risk when a guy throws in about 105 miles an hour. So I think guys are definitely hesitant to test him. They know at any point in time he can throw them out by 15, 20 feet and make somebody look bad. I don't think anybody likes looking bad in front of 40,000.
One other question, Andy. Getting to wear the green this weekend, what's that been like? What have you enjoyed about it?
Anytime you can honor the fallen and people who have fought for our country. That's really what it's all about. And to take a moment of silence in the middle of the game and remember and pause and reflect, and also give people a reprieve from the grind on a holiday, and people come out and cheer on a baseball game and watch the home team win and beat the defending world champs. I think it's fun to wear the green.